But I can start to say that today is not a very good day to start a panel talking about Meta and Facebook, as known as Facebook as well. Just right after a panel to discuss like 5G rollout, when the focus was Meta, right? But I understand that my panel is about Wi-Fi technologies and its evolutions and new applications. So I will attend myself to the core business here today. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Aline Mourao. I'm a global spectrum manager at Meta, also known as Facebook. The company started like 15 years ago as a single application company, but right now, like 15 years later, we do provide a suite of products that helps people to connect not only to families and friends and do their communications even at work, but also to grow their businesses. But I just wanted to highlight my colleagues here as well, Dave from HPE, as well as Microsoft, Frank, and my colleague, my very good and now becoming friend, colleague from Ofcom. But let's start my presentation. I just wanted to, I think that Dave also highlighted some of those figures from Wi-Fi Alliances, so I'm not gonna be repetitive. But I wanted to acknowledge the importance of Wi-Fi, especially as it's remained the single most effective wireless technology to extend broadband connectivity to the user. So we are talking here about like Wi-Fi sits at the edge of every type of broadband connection. As Dave clearly pointed out, we are talking about a fiber, a cable, fixed 5G, a satellite. So every other technology also depends to extend this broadband connection to the users and to more users through Wi-Fi. And also, as Dave said, it's been around 12, 15 years that we don't have new assignments of spectrum to Wi-Fi. So the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands, they are rapidly congesting. That's why right now we see a very good opportunity to release the 6 gigahertz band, not only to alleviate congestion, but also to provide a path forward for new technology innovation. And in this sense, I just wanted to highlight AI and via applications, which is one of our main goals as Meta. But also there are many other use cases. We know the use cases that will need 6 gigahertz band unlicensed spectrum. People think that it's a futuristic thing, but they are here right now. So even like many of our colleagues today talked about hotspot access, but also health monitoring, connecting schools, connecting libraries. These all depend on Wi-Fi to reach much more citizens, much more students in a school. So Wi-Fi keeps being very important for every use case, be it the ones that we have right now, but also the futuristic applications that we can come up with more spectrum for Wi-Fi. So, but let's talk about a little the past and how we see the future of connectivity and the internet connectivity. So in the 50s, we did have like some site-specific computing on the form of mainframes. In the 80s, through personal computing, we had those dial-up connectivities, and I believe that everyone here had the opportunity to experience either using their phone lines or accessing the internet. So it was something that more unreliable. We didn't have like connectivity like every day, so it was an occasional access. But by the 2000s, through mobile connectivity, we did have a more continuous access to the mobile internet through our smartphones and tablets. But also this communication, not only technology has evolved and democratized these connections, but also our expression changed. So we came from text to photos to videos. Right now it's a mix of everything. And since we are seeing this evolution of since mainframe computing until like the future of spatial computing, we think the metaverse, as we call it, but you can call extended reality, which is an umbrella for augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. So you'll be able to access these new technologies also through your mobile connections or through your current devices. but also through new headsets. I don't know if you can see here properly. So head-mounted devices, which you can access, so the virtual reality devices that we had demoed today. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see. But also through wearables, such as smart glasses or watches that we can see becoming more mainstream right now. So AR and VR technologies, they are becoming more available right now. It's not something from developed countries. We have some, at least I come across with 3 different companies doing AR and VR in Africa. One is from Ghana, the other one is from Nigeria, and the third one I can't remember right now, but we can discuss that later. So it's something that is not doing just on the US or the UK. It's something that is becoming mainstream. And because of that, we have to see what is the connection that can give capacity to this new technology. And for us, as a combination of fiber, of a broadband connection that is present in every speech here as a goal, but also a next generation Wi-Fi. And as Dave already pointed out, the 6 gigahertz is uniquely suited to provide this next generation Wi-Fis. The band is comprised between 5925 to 7125 megahertz. And for us, this is very important to have the whole band that can provide 7 no overlapping 160 megahertz channel. This is also very important for wireless and immersive technologies, as we are talking about here. And these 1200 megahertz, they provide a greenfield spectrum, which means there is no legacy devices on it. So it's good for this next generation of AI and VR applications. Also, those channels, those larger channels, they are important for lower latency applications such as AI and VR, but also like heavy stream content such as HD, high definition videos. But talking about how to enable, and a little bit more on the specific use case, how to enable those AI and VR, we have to look at the end-to-end experience holistically. That's why we need, there are 2 specific critical factors in the to quality of experience of both AR and VR, which are low latency and throughput. So in this context, if you have just a trying to contextualize here, if you have a VR device streaming from remote device to your device connected through Wi-Fi, you need like enough capacity to send both the video and the spatial audio and the information required to that specific application. But also if you use changes from one side to another using a VR headset, you have to have low enough latency so you are able to download and to stream a new viewpoint in real time. This is very important, not only to end-to-end performance, but is even more important to promote, protect against motion sickness. Otherwise, you're going to feel like a glitch between what you are seeing and what is really happening in this application. So also, those larger channels, as we are talking about, like channels of 106 megahertz size, they are very important for low power consumption and thermals. And those larger channels, they minimize their own air transmission, so transmit, receive, transmit, receive. And this become very important when you can save power. So you're not going to be charging your VR headset all the time, but also reduce your heat. Can you imagine, like sometimes our phones tend to be very hot when you use that much. And in a VR headset or a wearable, you cannot have something heating on you because you're airing it. So it's also very important for us. But before, I have a video here, but before I play it, I think that it's, if people had the opportunity to see during the demo, this is a real case application. It's not futuristic. Right now, there are some universities trying it, but it was developed by the hospital in Los Angeles. It's a children's hospital, and seizures are very low in the interest of an hospital. But they cannot try in a real baby, right? They cannot wait to come up of a situation that they can train a babe and then see if they are really trained. The doctors are really trained. I wouldn't let my children be with a doctor teaching another one while my kid is experiencing such a distress. So also VR is very important for many other sectors, not only to the health sector. We see a lot of deployments already in the schools where kids can learn from VR, and it's very interesting how they can be present in a place they've never been. I am from Brazil, so I speak Portuguese, and oi, tudo bem para os meus amigos de Moçambique. Not only you speak Portuguese, I speak Portuguese as well. So it's very interesting how they can like travel to another place where they never been, and how they can see history being done itself, like from the past. Like if you have the opportunity to live in London, you can go to the British Museum and see all the arts. But if you live in Brazil, like I lived my whole life, I didn't have this opportunity. So it's good to also have to come up with a new type of solution that can bring more people to speed up to speed up the education process. I don't know if it.
If you're looking at all the 911 emergency calls in the United States, about 1% of all of those are serious critical pediatrics, which is relatively rare. It's technically a good thing, like we don't want children to be sick with emergencies, but that rarity presents itself a training problem. Because pediatric emergencies are low-frequency, high-stakes events, training methodology to gain experiential learning, we have to basically create these experiences without causing harm to the patients. The most common way that we replicate that experience is through mannequin-based simulation. And that's how you train for different procedures, including resuscitations and how to assemble as a team. But mannequin-based simulation is costly both in time and effort. So that's when we built the simulation in virtual reality.
Doctor, this is a 7-year-old female who started developing a rash and difficulty breathing at a Chinese restaurant.
My belly hurts.
Doctor, I heard wheezing on my exam.
Doctor, please help my little girl.
Doctor, what do you want to do? If we think it's anaphylaxis, I should intubate her before the airway closes.
Go for it, intubate now.
I think virtual reality really complements the mannequins because in the VR, you have that emotional stress of a parent saying, like, my child is dying. That gets your heart racing, your palms are sweating, and you need to refocus with those elements there. So this mirrors what you're going to feel to some degree in a real life emergency.
Yeah, it only took 18 seconds for you to intubate. That's like amazing. That you make mistakes, you learn the consequences, you get feedback, and you try again to correct those mistakes. That's how people learn. In low-frequency, high-stakes events, there is no room for mistakes. The virtual reality setting provides a safe educational arena for you to practice and practice over and over again until you get better and better. Those mistakes can be made there, you learn from it, and then when the real thing happens, you'll be ready.
You're learning where your knowledge gaps are, and that allows you to improve if you ever do encounter those situations again. And that should translate into you being a better doctor.
There's so many different ways to help children and children's health, and we owe it to the kids to perform at our best.
And I think that I'm going to wrap up, especially because of that time, but immersive stuff today, such as VR, they will operate primarily over fixed networks, over fiber connection, and together with Wi-Fi, they are used in premises. You're not going to be wearing your VR headset throughout the streets connected to your cellular right now, but even though when you have like to come up with more AR, more augmented reality use cases, you still need the connection tethered through your mobile and your glasses or your watches. So you still need this last hop of Wi-Fi connecting also, even if mobile services are becoming more prominent in the augmented reality scenario as well. And just to finalize, I think that I was trying to find some statistics, and just to complement, I think Dave pointed out the UK and Germany data, and I don't want to put anyone on the spotlight, but this is from South Africa because we have like some analysis of open source data, and fixed, be it fiber or cable or copper, with Wi-Fi on the very edge, delivers 76% of the national traffic in South Africa, while mobile connectivity delivers 24%. So even if you have like a very widespread use of mobile, you are accessing the internet with your device. Normally you are connected in a Wi-Fi network, like we are today with our computers, laptops, and even I have connected to the Wi-Fi of the CTO as well through my mobile, so I don't have to use the cellular here inside of the building, which is in premises, and sometimes like the coverage is not that good. But thank you so much, and let's go to.